Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all having a great day and that you're all doing well. To start things off, blockchain-centric smartphone known as Exodus, developed by consumer electronics giant HTC, announced that it had partnered with the Opera browser, as well as added support for multiple dApps or decentralized applications. The news was revealed in a series of tweets on the 26th of February from the firm's official Twitter account. The company announced support for Ethereum and decentralized dApps in its own Zion Vault integrated cold storage. Moreover, according to a Verge report, the smartphone now also supports a Taiwanese dApp called Numbers. Numbers reportedly tracks user data and allows users to sell their data to third parties for cryptocurrency while retaining control over the data that is shared and transparency into the company's interest in the data. Touching on that very, very quick, we have something. Okay, so you may have noticed in the news that very recently Facebook has been constantly in the news because of their, it's Facebook, it's Google. To a lesser extent, it's also Amazon collecting data from people and pretty much profiting from the data that they're getting, and the people who are having their data harvested not actually getting any money from it. What we're seeing now is that the next step, and I assume this will be more of a 2020 thing when a lot of this kind of gets rolling. You know, we always we tend to have themes every single year in the cryptocurrency space, and the next theme seems to be owning your own data or being paid for your own data. So what it seems like is that in 2020, or even maybe it could happen also this year, but this year is supposed to be the year of the stable coins and, you know, the crypto market kind of getting back on its feet. The idea, at least for this part right here, is that it is believed that in the future we will have many different platforms that are going to be like Facebook but decentralized, and it will still need your data to be able to sell it, if you will, because that's kind of the what's the word? That's kind of how the market is for that. I can't really I'm not going to dig too deep into it, but the fact is that if you know that your data will be used, you will be paid instead of the actual company. So it could be another like side income, if you kind of want to say that. This is kind of the idea behind it. No one knows if these things are really going to take off, but they want people to have control over their data once again and to be able to sell it to companies if you want to, as opposed to being forced to do so by the companies that we kind of use right now. The phone's previous blockchain-related company included support for a crypto wallet and for the cryptocurrencies dApp. Exodus's addition to the Opera browser, on the other hand, lets users access the browser's integrated crypto wallet to make payments and micropayments on the websites that support it. The Verge reported that Exodus currently only supports payments in Ethereum, but has plans to add Bitcoin and Litecoin in the near future. Phil Chen, HTC's chief decentralized officer, told The Verge that, he said, "Now you could pay an amount like 0.00002 ETH, equivalent to less than 1 cent, and never in the history of micropayments did that make sense. There'd be a transaction fee or you'd have to share revenue with the app store," end quote. Chen is also quoted in the article as saying that this is the next step for the firm in making each phone what he defines as a partial node of a blockchain to facilitate trading between phone owners. This is making news all over the place, and I think that the timing is also quite interesting because we have had news about the HTC's Blockchain Phone Exodus before in 2018, and now we're finally, it seems that it is being released. We're also learning which cryptocurrencies can be used to actually pay for the phone, and this is why I think the release of the Electronium crypto phone was also quite interesting, because I believe this phone is supposed to be around $1,000 and the Electronium phone is only going to be $80. Not financial advice, and that's not me backing and or supporting that phone. I'm not partnered with either one of these things. It's more so like that's a huge price difference, especially because the Electronium phone also like mines cryptocurrency for you. It's a bit of a big difference, but I assume as the year goes on, we're going to definitely have other cryptocurrency projects who are going to be releasing something similar to this or other cryptocurrency phones. I'm kind of specifically waiting for a phone, that it may not be a lot, but mines Bitcoin, Litecoin, maybe even Ethereum, the three of them, and or runs a full node of the three on the actual phone. I think that would be kind of cool. I love the idea of running full nodes, so we'd be able to support the the ecosystem. And if you end up selling 1 million of these phones and you have 1 million extra Bitcoin like full nodes around the world, that could be absolutely spectacular. But the space is going to go that way. It's more just a matter of time until we actually get there. But yeah, let's move on. Next up, this one is making the rounds all over the place. Swiss private bank Julius Baer has partnered with a cryptocurrency banking startup to offer digital asset services later in 2019. According to the news on Tuesday, Julius Baer said that it had partnered with Saber Crypto AG and will utilize platforms to offer storage, transaction, and investment solutions for digital assets to meet growing demand from its clients. The arrangement will come into effect once Saber receives a banking and securities dealer license from the country's financial regulator, the Financial Market Supervisory Authority, or FINMA. Saber filed this application with FINMA last June and plans to go live with crypto banking operations in Q2 of this year. That is around April, give or take, so falling after a little bit of that March timeframe. According to the roadmap on his website, the firm is also preparing for an ICO in Q3, because why not nowadays? The news follows Julius Baer's equity investment in Saber last year, for which it did not disclose an amount, confirming the news in a separate statement. Saber said it will propose. Why did I have a problem with the word propose? It said it will propose to shareholders that Peter Gerlach, head of markets and broad member at Julius Baer, should be elected to its board of directors at an extraordinary general meeting to be held on the 20th of March. The point is that we have a mega private bank who is also going to now offer cryptocurrency services. I guess the full extent of what they're going to offer hasn't really been revealed. One can only assume that it's going to, they're either going to have a cryptocurrency trading desk or they're going to have like a custody platform, but I feel like they're going to, I have a feeling that they're going to try and do like something like security token wise. They're going to try and have like a custody platform. And then eventually by the end of this year, when or if the cryptocurrency market goes back up and we start receiving news and reports from some of the major players, how much money that they made because of cryptocurrency trading, just from the fees of it. I think this is when we're going to have major players like Julius Baer actually trying to jump into the market as well. My opinion, but you kind of get to where I'm going with that mindset. Next up, there are different countries running Bitcoin nodes that help the network to be protected and secured. However, there are 3 countries that account for more than 50% of the total number of Bitcoin nodes around the world. And surprisingly, China is not even in the top 3. According to a recent release study by DataLight, the United States and Germany account for 44% of the total number of Bitcoin nodes in the entire world. Those nodes are very important for keeping the whole network secure and stable. However, 50% of them are located, of the total nodes of Bitcoin, 50% are located in the United States, Germany, and in France. They have 2,600, 2,100, and 698 nodes, respectively. China, one of the most powerful countries in the world, and with a large presence in the blockchain and crypto space, accounts for only 3.9% of the total reachable nodes in the world. Nevertheless, in China, nodes must be registered with the government to acquire legal status. We had news about that a couple of weeks ago. It's not only China, there are many other places around the world. I think Venezuela is also one of them. It's this really weird situation where first of all, cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in general was created for you to be able to have control over your own money and to be able to run your own node. Like, it's meant for everyone to be able to download the software, run their own node, and that's kind of how everything ends up going. But we have countries who they have not decriminalized it, but they have made it illegal for you to not register with them if you are running a node, because in these countries, if you are running a node, they have it set up as if you are running a money transmitting service, which makes absolutely no sense, because you are not transacting the money for other people. You're simply running a node to be able to validate and secure the network. However, that's not exactly how it's working in many other countries. In addition to it, those running nodes consume electricity but are not paid for the work they do. Thus, they are just altruistic individuals and firms that want to protect the network. There are also several individuals that would like to mine Bitcoin, but they are not able to the fact that it's very difficult to enter the ASIC mining market. According to BitNodes, There are 105 jurisdictions that are supporting at least one Bitcoin node, 24 of them just one node, and 54 have less than 10 nodes. This shows that there is a large concentration of nodes across a few countries. Indeed, the first 10 countries in the list, almost 75% of the total number of reachable nodes around the world, come from the Netherlands, China, Canada, the UK, Singapore, Russia, and Japan. Here's a little pretty chart right here for those who are actually looking at the screen. This is why I kind of mentioned before in this over here. I'm sure that people are working towards it, because when this does happen, the networks are going to be hyper secure, and this will be like one of the greatest moments in the cryptocurrency space, because as of right now, the way that Bitcoin is set up, and I guess also Litecoin and Ethereum, is that as we get more nodes, the more secure the network becomes, as there is not one single point of failure. So if we get into a situation where they end up finding a way for everyone in some sort of way to run a node on their phone or on their tablet or on their computer in the background, we will then have a situation where you no longer have, where the numbers right over here, 2,600, 2,100, and 698 nodes. You'll have one country having 14 million nodes, another country having 16 million nodes, another one having, 3.4 million nodes, securing the network like nothing ever before. We will eventually get there, and I really, really hope, I would love to give myself a Christmas gift this year of me buying a cryptocurrency phone that was, where you own your own private keys, where you can like store crypto on it, where you ran full nodes, and also it had something, even if you're just mining like a couple of cents every single day of each cryptocurrency, it still does add up, at least in my opinion, especially where I see the prices going. I think it's kind of cool, but it's funny to have the actual metrics for who's running these nodes all around the world. We usually do not get news like this. Next up, I thought this one was incredibly interesting. The host of CNBC's Crypto Trader says news from BitGo and the University of Michigan shows institutions are doubling down on the emerging industry. Rand Neuner, who I don't always agree with, I spoke about him before in another video. Some of his videos are hypey-dipey. That's not a phrase, but you understand exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's like a bit too much hype sometimes. Rand Neuner points to the University of Michigan's plans to further invest in cryptocurrency and BitGo's announcement that it will provide $100 million of insurance to cover digital assets as two big signs of the institutional growth and maturation of cryptocurrency. BitGo announced that Lloyd's of London is underwriting up to $100 million of insurance coverage per claim for lost, stolen, or damaged private keys. The insurance, though through provider Digital Asset Insurance, covers investments in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, Stellar, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Zcash, Bitcoin Gold, and Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's Vision. Neuner calls it the most significant and underreported story of the past week. He said, I think that this story is being underplayed. For me, this is the biggest story of the week. I think that one of the biggest barriers for entry for institutions is that they don't understand that asset class, and in particular, how to store it. And for them, this unknown increases the percentage of how risky an investment is in the crypto space. Now that we've got significant insurance with a credible provider like Lloyd's, it's another big hurdle out of the way and opens up the gates for a huge flow of institutional money, keeping in mind that this is $100 million of insurance. Keeping that in mind, the easiest way of saying it is like normally you're insured like up to like maybe 100,000, 200,000. $100 million of insurance is if you didn't know, that's a very significant number, and it kind of goes to show who they're gearing themselves towards. Like they're gearing themselves towards people who have 50, 20, 30, 40, or going to eventually have in the future when prices go up, millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency. And this is why I noted before in the other video why I thought, remember that day where we saw, I'm not sure if it was the University of Michigan, but we had news that it was like Yale and Harvard and someone else who were getting into the cryptocurrency space, and now like pension funds who were also trying to get into it. And I said, it's being underplayed so much. Like people don't really understand the significance of it. Like when you have, I think everyone is so fascinated by prices going up and down, or hearing that Coinbase listed a new coin, or that so-and-so. You don't really understand the true power of names like Lloyd's of London. Like you may not live in London or have never heard of Lloyd's of London. Google them. You'll find out very, very soon exactly how large they are. When you have universities in general across the world, but more specifically in the United States because of the cost of schools and exactly how much these schools actually invest in all these crazy funds, it becomes painstakingly clear that crypto is not only going to be big, but it's going to be one of the largest asset classes that we have in the entire world. And this is why I get really energized when I think about this space in another 5 or 10 years, but even the unthinkable in around another 25 years of exactly how large this space is going to be. And this is, when you hear prices like $1 million Bitcoin, which I love. I love that people in the comment section who are watching this video have been laughing at me every single day, every time I mention that. Please keep laughing, and we'll have this discussion in a couple of years. And when you also hear, XRP going into the couple of hundreds, this space isn't going to stop in 2 or 3 years. Like, we're not going to reach our apex. If you pay attention to everyone who's getting into this space, these are major. These aren't people that you have simply heard about on the news as it's scrolling down at the bottom and you have no idea what's going on. These are major players who've been in this game for over 100 years, who know exactly where this space is going. Crypto is going to last for a very long time. It's now being called a major asset class. Like, it's developing into this. It's developing into the new gold and silver and real estate. In the next 25 years, the people who got into cryptocurrencies right now are going to be some of the richest people in the entire world. So like I say, if you feel the need to laugh, you are probably maybe one of the same people who laughed when Bitcoin was a cent and people said that Bitcoin was eventually going to go up to $1,500. Just kind of how it is. Not everybody can see the future, but for those of you who can, it's going to be fun. Let's continue on. To kind of finish this off, I'm going to breeze-ish through this one. For some reason, I think it's because that they know that they're wrong, or that they may be too late, or that they are trying. Okay. I know that sounded crazy. What you normally see is that, I told you guys before, unless something really threatens you, you don't really talk about it. And these three men right here, more specifically these two, as we hear about them the most, Warren Buffett and Jamie Dimon, they are obsessed with Bitcoin. I would not be not confused. I would not be surprised if they have been collecting Bitcoin in mass for quite a long amount of time. They talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies far too much and how much they hate it, to not have invested at least some money into it. That's at least my own personal opinion. Especially over the last couple of months, I've seen a huge tick up, and it's kind of weird because, if nothing else, I give Warren a pass because of his age. Forgive me for saying that, but you understand what I mean. I think he's like 90, somewhere around there. But Jamie Dimon knows exactly where this is going, and I think he is trying his hardest in the most ridiculous way to let everybody know that he hates cryptocurrencies while he's also stocking up on it himself. And this is why I think he announced a couple of days ago that, the JP Morgan coin was going to be a thing. Anyway, they've been in the news constantly, and I saw this article and I was like, yeah, this pretty much is right up the alley of exactly what's been going on. Sorry about that. That was a dog in the background. Very good timing as well. I guess that was him telling me it's time to end the video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening. Wherever you are, wherever you might be, I hope it's absolutely fantastic. The crypto market's still trending sideways, to be expected. It's kind of just how the market is right now. Sorry, lost my train of thought. As always, a very special thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. They are, or rather you are, Vlad the Impaler, Gilboa Snake, Rai, Brady Nields, L. Doug, Arthur Yaku, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Nick Mangialavori, Travis Haynes, Gordon Nikic, Yasha Harari, Anthony Charles, Nick Kanaya, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Jim Gardner, Jared Schneider, Jeremy Fox, and Amy Starsheen. Thank you all very, very much for your generosity. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.